Hello and good day from my side. My name is Vladimir Obradovic, and today I will be talking a little bit on how we started to establish PM² methodology in Serbia, how to promote this official European approach, and also the activities of the alliance. We are still not over and done because that's an ongoing process, but let me share my experience with you, and also it would be also beneficial to get some advice or recommendation from your side. So today's topic of my presentation of my speech would be PM² in Serbia. First of all, as you know, or most of you know, Serbia is not EU member country. It's a candidate country, and on that road, we have also a lot of projects funded by EU funding schemes, and also we have really dedicated government orientation towards becoming a member of the EU, which in my opinion will not happen very soon. However, we are on that road. In two or three mandates, there is even a ministry in Serbian government for EU accession. So having that in mind, I thought that PM² methodology should be something that's really important within our governmental structures, but also much wider than that. A few words about myself. I'm a professor at University of Belgrade and the president of IPMA Serbia. IPMA Serbia is a Serbian Project Management Association, member of the International Project Management Association. We are a 35-year-old organization dealing with project management and trying to be the center point for project-oriented activities in Serbia. We gather people from various backgrounds, academics, practitioners, NGOs. So we really try to become a unique focal point for project community in Serbia. Besides that, I also am engaged at Alma Mater Europea. You have had the chance to listen to Professor Radujkovic previously. At this university, I'm a member of the PhD committee for project management. Also, I have made a contribution to developing project management masters at Moscow State University of Management, and starting next year we will also have a new international program on project management over there in Moscow. As for PM² Alliance, which is important for my today's speech, I'm regional coordinator for Serbia, but also a Serbian Project Management Association signed a MOU with PM² Alliance, and we also promote PM² in Serbia in all its heads regarding methodology, regarding certification, regarding its application in various ways. So in brief, that's regarding my current positions. Also, I'm a member of several scientific journals, like International Journal of Project Management, where I'm a member of editorial board, Project Leadership and Society, and I'm editor-in-chief of European Project Management Journal. So basically, 17, 18 years of my career have been devoted to project management, and I'm really now fond of developing and working further in a new environment called PM². So what will be the content covered by my today's presentation? First of all, I will give a few words of how it all started in Serbia and how we came up to idea to develop this here. Then what is the present situation? What were the major and still are the major obstacles in introducing PM² to Serbia, and what we plan as a future actions. So how it all started. Since 2018, Here and there, as I put here on the slide, we could hear some words on PM² methodology. It was a word that started spreading around, that there is a new approach, new methodology adopted by EU, that it is open methodology that is combining various approaches and trying to get the best out of them. So we could hear something about that over here. In a few conferences in 2018 in project management here in Serbia, we had a few presentations connected to PM². So the response from the audience was positive, and participants in those conferences were very interested in that new methodology. We also had one or two, I believe, master theses in this area. So it proved to be something interesting, and it's something that could be appealing to Serbian PM community and a wider audience. Also, what is important, in 2019, you can see that that's a photo below, we had a big conference on project management in public sector, where we had few government officials. It was organized together with the National Academy for Public Administration. And one of the conclusions that were drawn at that conference is that Serbia needs more focused methodology on project management, the one that could be really applicable to government structures, to public enterprises, NGOs, and other institutions. So one of the logical conclusions was that PM² methodology would be a right solution for this. So I continued my discussion on that with Nikos. Nikos I met, I think, in 2018, and we started discussing that. So somewhere in February this year, actually, because for me, everything before pandemic is last year. So in February 2020, we met in Brussels and made an agreement how to introduce and start promoting PM² methodology in Serbia, and also an alliance. So it took us some time to discuss all things and all the details about that cooperation, and that cooperation was officially announced in May this year. We had a big conference, a national conference with international participation on project management in May. It was actually online conference, first of the kind at that moment, because some were due to pandemic, some were canceled and some were shifting to online arena. We decided to have our in online arena, and Nikos had a very nice and very well rated presentation at that conference. So it additionally proved that there is a great interest for this approach in Serbia, and we have received several inquiries later on that. So that promotion that happened in May was really a success, and Nikos did a great job in promoting that to Serbia, participating in the conference and in panel on certification. So from there, we took further development, and we have PM² guide translated. It is now in Serbian language. We saw that it is very important because people in the public sector, in local governments, are not very fond of reading and getting some insights from, say, English versions. They would like to have it in local language, in Serbian language. So we put some effort into it and translated it to Serbian. Then we started promoting this and establishing cooperation with various stakeholders that would be interested in this. Of course, some of the NGOs were interested in promoting this. So some of the NGOs were interested in this. They, for their own purposes, while running project management themselves, but also in applying for various projects, they were interested in this approach. So we started working with them, and in some time, very soon, I think we will have some projects proposed to EU for EU-funded schemes that would incorporate PM² as a methodology for running the project, but also as a methodology that should be wider developed. Also, we already introduced PM² to two universities, I believe. One is, of course, Belgrade University, where I teach. It will be introduced in some courses starting next fall on a master level. And also, we introduced that to Edukons University in a project management college, where some subjects will be also enriched with this approach. So we really look forward to that happening in universities, because I think it's really important that students in the early stages get the insight of this approach. Of course, as I previously mentioned, we have signed agreement with National Public Academy, and there we also foster this in joint events, in like conferences or some trainings. We will promote this further and make this really visible and suggested methodology for public servants. When speaking about our cooperation with National Public Academy, or National Academy for Public Administration, how it's officially called, I must underline that this PM² guide was translated as a joint endeavor with them. So we did it together, and we will also make a formal publishing of it together, so that it is more visible to public administration, which I think is very important at this time. We are also having agreements with the training providers. So some of the training providers in next couple of months will start working on providing trainings on this topic. Trainings would cover in the first phase under some projects national structures, and I think it is a good start. Of course, everything is a little bit slow now. I don't know about your countries, but in Serbia, everything is a little bit slow down, and everything is different due to situation. But I do expect once this thing is over, we will move fast forward. So we are actually using this pandemic and partially lockdown to develop all these things, and once it is over, to start really fast forward. So that was our approach. Regarding some obstacles, I must say that as I showed, I just will get back to that slide, because at that point of time I was not sharing the screen. When we started this agreement in February, the plan was completely different. Then in March, the pandemic started, and we ended up here in Serbia in a lockdown which lasted for almost 2 months. On top of that, just a few days before the lockdown, the elections were open. So basically, we ended up with the technical government, and whatever we wanted to do was, on a hold list, because if you want to talk or negotiate with someone to introduce this methodology, to start training people, to start working with it, they would just say, okay, let's wait until the elections are over. And then the elections were postponed due to pandemic. So basically we were something like 6 months or even more without active government. The government was established in October, so now we are trying to get back in a saddle once again and to promote this approach and this methodology to various structures. I do really hope that we will have success in that, and that already in the 2021 we will picking up some of the fruit of our cooperation with government, meaning that we will have more visibility, more people using this methodology, and of course more people getting certified and having their knowledge and expertise recognized in this arena. The important part of developing and delivering one methodology to a specific region is, of course, localization. Although I may freely say that people in Serbia are, very good in English, and most of the people are speaking English, it's still not very easy for them to use that as an everyday tool. So having everything translated in local language is very important, and we will continue our work on that. Also, it's not only about translation, but also about understanding. When we were translating this guide, some words, even for us experts in the field, are completely clear when you mention them in English, but it takes a lot of time to find the appropriate word in a local language so that it becomes understandable for everyone. And also having that localized, having that translated to local language is important, because in that way we standardize the body of knowledge, we standardize the terms and their usage. So for every further activity, we will have a single baseline, single starting point, and that's very important in our opinion, and also in opinion of our counterparts in Serbia. In the future, we will continue translation of the artifacts. We will have them all translated and make them visible and ready to use for our partners in Serbia, and that's the next step in localizing everything. We will try to further develop and improve cooperation with central and local governments. Of course, local government, there are something more than 150 municipalities in Serbia, and most of them have some sort of project support office or a regional project development office or something of that kind. So we will try working with them and try to explain them how this could fit in their broader strategic development project agenda, train people, and promote certification in this area. We will also try to promote PM² as a main methodology in project management offices in public sector. Especially here, we have in focus and already started some discussions with the universities, but not universities in terms of teaching, like I was mentioning a few slides before, but with universities in terms of having their project support offices or project management offices using PM² as a main approach, as main methodology in running their projects, but also when applying for various donor-funded projects. Within our association, the plan for 2021 is to establish special interest group section, you may call it, for project management in public sector. We already have special interest group for project management office, but it has risen that a specific dedicated group or section is needed for public sector PMs only, and we plan to do that. We plan to do that in the next year. Of course, this will heavily depend on the pandemic and overall situation, but at least that's our plan for the next year. In developing and running this methodology, for us, it's also very important to have best practice examples, and that's why I think this conference is a great event. For me personally, it's a place where I will pick up and learn a lot of new things regarding the methodology and its application in various sectors. Only started this morning, we could already see how it's applied in a central bank or in a military service facilities. So we will have a few more very interesting panels and presentation, and all those best practice examples would be very useful for Serbia to see how it's already done and that it is actually working somewhere there, and in that way it would be more easy to adopt that approach and utilize it in our project operations. So these best practice examples are really valuable. And of course, we will continue organizing events and promoting PM² in Serbia. We mainly use these two channels. So through events, whatever event we have, we try to put PM² in that event and convey the message to the audience about the methodology, its usage, and the benefits that it brings along. But also through social media channels, we will continue promotion and even make it more heavier in the future so that we reach most of the public and civil servants in Serbia, but also a wider audience. So in brief, that would be our plans for the future. And I'm really happy that we started doing this and that we signed the agreement with PM² Alliance, because I do really believe that this approach could be really beneficial to Project Society of Serbia. Following up on the previous presentation from Yvonne Schopper on projectification of societies, I think that PM² methodology is a really important milestone in getting societies more projectified. Thank you for listening. I think we are somewhere on time. We have maybe 5 minutes more for potential questions or some other things. So you're welcome. Let me now try to see all on my screens what's going on. Okay. I see on chat some of my good old friend Konstantin Solis, Antonio, Alexander. Greetings to you all. That's why I say project community is it's one of a kind, and we must all share together. So I can see that following our example, I think that I would not like to brag, but I think that IPMA Serbia was the first association under IPMA umbrella that signed with the PM² Alliance and introduced it next to our regular PM offering. So I see now that it's spread in Portugal also, and I'm really happy about that. So greetings to Portugal, and I will definitely contact them to exchange the experience and see how things are going. Also, I believe that Croatia is on that way. So I think we will together start working on this partnership. When I'm talking about IPMA and PM² Alliance partnership on a higher level, as Jose asked on a Q&A session, I do really think that there is a strong potential there. And one of the maybe first things we should start to be working together is certification scheme. Nikos, in his presentation this morning, said that the PM² Alliance certification is an addition to already established certification systems, but I think some sort of bridging is needed, and I think that would be one of the major actions in the future that I would suggest on both sides, in IPMA and PM² Alliance as well. So thank you all. It was really a pleasure having you all here, and such a great number of attendees. This was really my pleasure, and I hope to see you all next year with some different topics, of course, but also with some results in 2021 regarding PM² methodology in Serbia and the region, because we also have some regional discussions. Thank you very much, and see you soon.